Hello, welcome to Learn to Become Radio. I'm April Perry.
And I'm Eric.
And here at Learn to Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. And today we're talking about how we're going to calm our mind so we can be present and we can sleep well.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be how to turn off your brain, but turning off your brains could be dangerous, especially depending if you're doing something. So calming our minds so that we can actually enjoy our days, enjoy our lives, and sleep peacefully at night.
I used to have a spinning mind every time I tried to go to sleep, and this process that we're sharing today has been such a help. So I'm excited to share it. All right, so if you were to search online for how to calm my brain so I can sleep, here are the kinds of suggestions you'll get. And they're good, but it's things like read a book or take a hot bath, limit screen time at night, try deep breathing and muscle relaxation, make sure your room is cool and dark and quiet, limit caffeine and sugar, get good exercise early in the day, and, set a consistent sleep schedule. Anything else you've heard? Those cover it pretty much.
I can make a joke or two here, but I won't. All these are great ideas. Good ways to calm your mind so you can sleep well.
I will edit this part out.
Do not edit this part. This is the best part of the podcast. You'll also hear, write down all your thoughts, to-do lists, and worries.
So this is the one we're going to dive deeper into today because while it often does help to write these kinds of things down, it's still common for our brains to say, you have so much to do, you probably won't have time to do it, and there's a mountain of stress waiting for you when you wake up or something like that. In fact, our team member, Taryn, found this funny...
Can I share this thought? This thought is wonderful.
I want you to share it.
It made April smile, and it made me smile, and she shared it with me. It says, I'm not sure if I'm bad at sleeping or just really, 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 really good at thinking.
Awesome.
Or overthinking.
And so if you can relate to that and you're like, okay, tell me, then how do I calm my brain? How do I stop thinking about all the really important things I need to do? Then we will share that. So to make this really practical, I actually went into our community Facebook group. We have a free Facebook group here, just Learn to Become Community if you go on Facebook. And I asked our community members, what kinds of things are currently keeping you up at night? And they gave me an awesome list. So I'm just going to walk through their responses and then show you how you can actually give the things in your mind a logical parking space. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking of it like VIP parking that makes it easier for your brain to relax.
Because when all the thoughts and ideas are parked in your brains and not causing traffic and honking,
yes,
you can have a more peaceful mind and a more peaceful life.
Well, and I think of that little regular list by the side of your bed. It's just kind of like this huge parking lot you could just fill with all these cars that, need to be taken somewhere or whatever. But we're essentially going to segment that huge parking lot into distinct sub-lots.
Just don't forget where you're parked. Take a picture of the sign, the number, and the letter.
And we're going to follow the pattern of what we call our STEP Command Central or the STEP system, so we can work with our brains and finally feel peace and relief. And it's this big parking lot party. Isn't that a fun analogy?
That is.
But
it makes me giddy.
It's changed my life. And so I just want to show you how it works. So Eric, if you don't mind reading, these are the three main things our community members are dealing with.
Okay, so first, emails, calls, tasks they need to remember to do, processing major life changes or situations, and also distorted thinking patterns about the next day. Things like fortune telling, self-blame, magical thinking, or things we didn't do well enough.
So it was really interesting to hear them, and I wanted to just take each of those one at a time. So first, let's talk about the emails, calls, and tasks that they need to remember to do. This is going to be the bulk of the podcast or the bulk of the explanation because this is what most people
on a daily basis.
It's like I have things to do, and so these are exact quotes from our community. Will you just go ahead and read those?
Yep. So list writing in my head of the done and not done lists from work and home life. If I worry I've forgotten to write something down that needs to be done and it's going to hit me in the face later and needs to be done right then, or having needed to be done already that I'm late on. Another one is, do I need to pick up that grandchild? Is my dental cleaning this week? Did I remember to set the sprinkler to turn on again Thursday? Another is, I'm a caregiver from 3,000 miles away. If my mind starts to wander to thoughts of mom, suddenly I'm running through lists in my head of things that need to be done. Were they done? Did I remember to review and order meds? What appointments are coming up? Do I have a substitute aide tomorrow that doesn't know the routine? Do I need to update the brothers on anything? My goal is to trust the system and these thoughts will quiet down. Another, I worry if I've forgotten something on the schedule or forgotten to coordinate something between my mom, husband, and nanny for my children. Another is, how will I learn to get organized while I still have so many things to do? Get taxes done, schedule clients, collect payments, take down the pool, wash towels, feed the dogs. Another, which transition effect should I use for that presentation I'm working on? Would a new plant stand work better than the one we have? Another, I'll worry I forget to bring stuff I need for the next day. Lunch, paper signed for a child, paperwork for the license office, library book to return, etc.
Okay, so that's a lot.
So you probably have never had any of those various thoughts in your head or in your heart or in your mind, right?
And when I was reading them, I even thought, oh man, this is stressful. Like, look at all this stuff people are worried about.
I came up with 8 things I need to go do now.
So the thing is, when you see all of it written out like that, it's super easy to just feel overwhelmed and just think,
Like this
okay,
massive
whatever.
river just running over you.
But here's what, as I went through all of them, I thought, okay, hang on. I'm not going to get overwhelmed by everybody. I'm just going to step back and think about the system we teach every day. Because when you know it's a step-by-step process to make this easy, and you learn the process and you learn what to do, then you never have to be overwhelmed by a list like that again. And so there's 4 things that you can do for this type of stuff. First, they're date specific. Second, they're week specific. Third, they're related to a project. Or fourth, they're routines. I went through all of them and found they fit into these 4 categories. So I'm just going to explain how this works. And just one little side note, if these kinds of things are coming to you while you're trying to go to sleep, it's probably not the first time you've thought of that thing. Like, it's probably something that was on your mind throughout the day, or maybe you thought of it a while ago, but you didn't write it down, or you didn't do anything with it. So it's coming back to you at night. Usually it's not brand new stuff that's coming to you at night. So when you get in the habit of writing things down in the place where they need to be as they come into your mind
during the day,
they
won't bother you at night.
Right.
But what I'll tell you is when you first start doing this, you'll clear those off during the day and other stuff will hit you at night.
Yes, at the beginning.
At the beginning. But then as you get this into a flow, pretty soon you will have gotten all the stuff generally during the day and you will sleep like a baby at night.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's so fun. And so, okay, so let's just take those little 4 categories. If it's date specific, this is where we're going to be utilizing our calendar. And our calendars have 2 parts. There's the appointments, and then there's flexible tasks. So when someone says, I need to call someone about picking up my grandchild, when's my dental cleaning, that type of stuff, those are either appointments or flexible tasks. And so you just utilize your calendar. And then all those things are just going to calm because your mind will know, oh, it's on my calendar and I check my calendar every day, so I'll be fine. Yep. Next is if something's week specific, that's where it would go on a section of your context-based next actions list. We just did a podcast on that last week, talking about the different, home, phone, errands, computer to discuss. And these are flexible tasks for the week. So things like, I need to update my brothers on my mom's health. That could be a phone task where she could create either a voice memo that she sends to them or type out a text, or it could be an email if she wants to do it on a computer task. Or something like, I need to take down the pool. Okay, that's a home task. And if that takes a long time, you might want to schedule that into your calendar. But anything that could be flexible.
Yeah, it might be like the last Saturday in September every year.
Right, something like that. Next, these are things that are related to projects. Okay, so ideally you would have a current projects list that has no more than 8 projects for the month. If you have big projects, I would say 2 or 3. But you work on your projects during project time that would hopefully be a routine for you. Like I have a routine every day. I have space in my schedule to work on projects. So someone said, I need to work on a transition effect for my presentation. Well, that presentation they're doing is probably a current project. And so figuring out the transition effect, that would be, one of the subtasks of that project as you're working on the slides or delegating or something like that. Or getting taxes done. Taxes would be a project. And then there are subtasks, to gather certain materials or contact an accountant or something like that. And so having your current projects organized with the next actions there with them and time scheduled into your life to work on projects, that eliminates all the stuff going on in my head about projects because I know they're safe in the system and they're all going to get done. And then finally, it's just the routines list. The more solid our routines are, and I don't want you doing like 5 million routines. It's a simple set of routines that keep things going. But when that's solid, we feel a lot less stress about the day-to-day demands. So some of the things where I need to review and order medications, that probably would be a routine, and maybe you'd have a certain day of the week or month you do that. Setting the sprinklers. Okay, maybe there's a certain day or time you do that. Scheduling clients. Same. You could have that be, oh, I always do that at this time of the day, or I do this on this day of the week. Collecting payments, doing the laundry, feeding the dogs. I mean, these are routines where if we have a solid routines list that runs on autopilot, by establishing routines one at a time and getting into these good habits, then you're just not going to feel stressed about it. That one where someone said they were worried they're going to forget to take things, the next morning, like lunches and things like that. A good evening and morning routine can totally solve that. When we were, Eric was working out of the home, our children were all going to school, we just had a whole bunch of stuff going. We had to have a really good, solid evening routine. And so I just put together something simple, like in the evening, clear counters, do dishes, close up the house, pack the lunches, check the calendar for the next day, and lay out all the items that need to go with you the next day, like a clipboard with your papers on it, or items for the kids to take to school, or, a sticky note with other reminders of one-off things you need to prepare. Like if I know I'm going to be flying out somewhere tomorrow morning, I might have a little sticky note saying, okay, get this out of the fridge or get this from downstairs, things I was using last night or whatever, so that those last minute things I just have on a little note, makes it easy. And then a morning routine would be something like tidy up beds, dishes, etc., gather the lunch items from the fridge, check the calendar and schedule and sticky note again, make sure you have what you need, do a last minute coordination with family members, and you're kind of, out the door. So I've been talking for quite a bit. Eric, any thoughts on that as we're looking at all these routines and projects and calendars? Does that all make sense?
Routines are good.
But does that sound logical, the stuff we went through?
It does.
You feel like, okay. Because sometimes it seems like, oh, this is just common sense. But if you go and you watch people who are feeling overwhelmed, or if you look at your own life when you're overwhelmed, you start noticing you're not doing these common sense things.
Yeah. And just the ability to take a look at the things that need to be done, even breaking them down between, is it a project? Is it a routine? Is it ongoing? Like that can give you a world of relief right there, because then you can break it down as it needs to be and move it forward. So,
right. Yeah. Okay. So the next category we found were processing major life changes.
Our recommendation, don't have them.
Never change your life.
Don't have major life changes.
And don't associate with any people who have life changes
exactly.
either. Okay.
Keep life simple.
It's pretty much impossible. Okay. So others' health and mental health, and then related crises. I heard a lot about that, because if you have a child or a spouse or a parent who's just not doing well, and then they depend on you, that often does keep you up at night because you're just worried. If it is a new phase of life for you or a family member, etc., some of these things are incredibly hard, but some of them are just happy. It's just adjusting to a new change. So, like we have a new grandchild right now, which is super fun, but our daughter and son-in-law, they've had to adjust to a lot of changes. So it makes sense that they might have some nights where they're like thinking through things because they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we function now as a family of 3 instead of just the 2 of us, things like that. Okay, so I have just a few ideas to help. First, if you are going through a life change or someone you love is, it may need to go on your current projects list. And so, like when we had our college students that were adjusting to new apartments this last month, I put on my current projects list, help children transition to new apartments, because they were going to come stay with us for a little while in the interim. We were going to help them take boxes over. There was just going to be some support on our side. Or like I broke my shoulder in January, and so I had physical therapy or heal on my current projects list while I was learning how to, get my arm moving again. I don't know. Do you think of things like this as current projects, or do you just give yourself bandwidth?
I just do them.
Okay, this is again, though, really helpful to have you here, because some people might be thinking, do I really need to put that on a current projects list?
I don't know if I put get shoulder back working as a project, but...
But you would allow time to adjust to something that was big.
Well, yeah, I'd build stuff into I'd probably put some stuff in my calendar, like a few times a week, do whatever therapy or stretching, or just, you just build it in. I just don't necessarily think of some of that kind of stuff project-wise, but
Yeah, and that's fine.
nothing wrong with either way.
But I think what you really naturally do, though, is when you have a life transition going on, either for you or for us, you don't put a lot of other big projects on your plate because you know you're going to be needed to support us.
Yeah, it's just trying to figure out how much bandwidth do you have and where should it be going.
Eric learned how to do my hair in a ponytail for me because I only had one arm.
Well, he had two arms, but one was working.
That's true, but you did a good job.
I am really good at a really ugly ponytail in the back for like 2 or 3 weeks while she was getting mobility back.
You were very thoughtful. Okay, so that was the first idea, is put it on your current projects list. Another idea is you might want a to pray about list. So this is an idea we heard from one of our community members because, the next actions list is great with your errands and computer and all that. But she said, I want a to pray about list because sometimes there are things I can't do anything about, but they're still on my mind.
And this could be a to pray about or to think about list, right? You're just giving yourself time and space to think, ponder, be prayerful about it, and let maybe insights or inspiration come that will then help you move it into a active project category.
Yeah. And then one other final idea for processing major life changes is if there are things you really are worried about, but you don't want to be worrying constantly. I heard this idea to have a worry routine. So this is what Eric's face right now. Okay, hear me out. So she'd say something like, okay, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes every Wednesday at 8 a.m. to worry. And then during the week, if something came like, oh, I'm feeling worried right now, she'd like stop herself and say, nope, I'm going to worry Wednesday at 8. So it was, okay. But here's why it was helpful. Because it would stop her from worrying then because she knew she had time to do it later.
Time blocked out to worry about
and
this.
And then
later.
when Wednesday at 8 came, sometimes she didn't feel like worrying because she was doing great. And so she'd just skip it.
Worry averted. Well done.
So I don't know.
Well, there are some cultures that actually have like worry dolls.
I have some.
I know you do. And I forget how you even use them or why you have them.
I don't think they're that helpful. I actually think cognitive behavioral therapy is more helpful.
But if you would get those dolls out at Wednesday at 8 o'clock, they could help you.
Yeah, so the idea with the worry dolls is like you whisper to them your worries and then they hold them for you at night while you sleep.
There you go. You could whisper to them at 8 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay. So anyway, I think when you have at least
but again, these are all
tools,
just mechanisms to process some things that you're thinking and feeling. So
yeah,
whatever is helpful, grab onto it and run with.
Okay, the next final category of things that our community members were thinking about during the night, it was just distorted thinking patterns about the next day. So it was things like, oh, the weather might be bad, I won't be able to go for a walk, or there isn't enough time and tomorrow's events are going to completely deplete my energy, or I didn't get enough done, I didn't use my time efficiently, like blaming themselves or thinking about, what was going to go wrong. And so those kinds of thoughts, I mean, they are rational because you want to be prepared for the next day. You want to be able to anticipate things. You want to evaluate how that day went. It's common to reflect and prepare, but the thoughts that kind of keep you up typically are distorted, where it's excessive worry or excessive blame or something else like that.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we fall into this. We're really being harder on ourselves than we really need to be. Because I'm not sure that kind of thought patterns or process is really productive or helpful.
No.
I mean, it allows you to, process emotions, feel things.
Yeah.
But there might be, better, healthier ways to manage that. So April's got a few things that she'll kind of share here. But I mean, it really is about this process. All these things we've spent time on in this podcast is really to help you get away from these kind of feelings and thoughts that we're not enough, that we don't measure up, that we're behind or we're not enough. We want to really be able to help each person in our community and in the world realize there are simple things you can do to know that you're good enough, you're making progress, and you'll keep getting better day to day. And some days won't be everything you wanted it to be. In fact, I just got off a team call. We were talking about a few things, and one of our wonderful team members said, like going through some things that have been challenging. I just feel like in some cases, like I showed up and I did my best, but I just feel bad I couldn't be all there and really be 100%. And I've seen a few things around where it said, some days we might only have 40% to give. Some days we have 80, some days we have 95. But if we're giving that 40% that we have, we're really giving 100%. Like our heart's there, right? We're doing our best. And I think you don't have to be perfect in anything, but I think just giving the best that you're capable of, doing it with your heart, that is what I think matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I could talk for a long time about all the different facets of things that have helped me learn how to calm my brain in these types of things. The one I wrote down here is Feeling Great. It's Dr. David Burns' most recent book. And he has a new app that's out that I think is fantastic. And it has a free trial. It's priced really well. But that Feeling Great app gives you a chance to practice identifying your distortions. Because that's the main thing that I've learned is whenever I'm feeling excessively worried, it's because I'm distorting something. And I mean, Eric and I, we've been married almost 26 years now. We've had a lot of things we've had to think through over the years. There have been some heavy things and some times where, like, we're just talking through, we're worried about people we love need our support. We have a big problem we need to figure out. Like, we've had a lot of that. But I think the biggest thing that's helped me is to learn that if there's something specific I need to do right now, then, okay, I'll do it right now if I have to. If it's just, it's a problem that exists, part of it for me is learning how to put my faith in our higher power and to trust that as I'm prayerful and thoughtful about this, that I'll get impressions that will help me to know what to do. And then also not taking responsibility for other people's lives. That's been another big one for me, is being able to just say, I'm going to do what's reasonable for me as a human in this situation, but I'm not going to stay up all night worrying or take other people's decisions on me, because that's just, a recipe for me to feel frustrated.
I think it's a recipe for any of us to feel frustrated. And then I'm thinking about it, like, not only are those things she's dealing with, but she's been dealing with me for 26 years. So this poor soul, like the amount of things she's had to process and manage through. Whew. But we actually hope that the things we've shared, these kind of approaches, processes, kind of thought patterns really can be helpful to you. Maybe grab onto one or two. Start there, because really when we're giving our best, when we're giving our heart to what we care about, again, I think that's the measure for success. And doing it that way will actually help all of us be able to avoid stinky warrior syndrome.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
Oh, of course. So literally, like some friends of ours were recently talking about a movie that came out 20 plus years ago, Nacho Libre. And April's like, what is the deal with this show?
Because they were quoting it over and over, and I'm like, what is this? So
like
you guys are ridiculous.
Throwback moment. But there's a lot of great quotes in the movie. But then, like, April, a few days ago, was just kind of going through a place, like a couple of days where maybe...
So tired.
Tired, feeling a little, like,
Hormonal.
frustrated, like you weren't being able to do all the things that you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And we're out on a walk, and it took me completely by surprise when she said...
Why does God give me so many desires and make me a stinky warrior?
Yeah, she's quoting Jack Black, literally on her walk, and she's like, why does God give me so many great desires and makes me such a stinky warrior? And like, he's really down on himself, right? He wants these great things, just like all of us do. And I just looked at April and I'm like, wow, I love you. Because, yeah, we have these great desires and we have the ability to manage our thoughts and our feelings and the way we approach things, because I don't think anybody wants to be a stinky warrior. I think we want to be able to be and become the best that we're capable of and enjoy our lives and the people we're with as we do that. And so we're hopeful that these things we've shared can really help us move in that direction more than the stinky warrior syndrome.
Well, and that's not like an official point I was going to bring up in the podcast, but
now it is.
Well, yeah, because now if we're on a walk and I'm concerned or have a look on my face, Eric's like super sensitive to my emotions. How are you doing, April? Like, he's very sensitive to that. And so then the other day, this is a different day, I kind of had this look on my face and he said, what's wrong? What are you concerned about? And all I had to say was, I'm a stinky warrior. And it was just like having that little phrase. It gave us a little humor, but it also helped communicate how I was feeling. But I think having something that's kind of funny.
Yeah, put some fun on some of the struggles
lighten it up.
of life.
It's okay. He felt like a stinky warrior. And he totally came out. I won't want to tell the end about... I won't spoil the movie.
Don't ruin it. And now April is literally encouraging everyone, each of you listening to this podcast, to go watch or rewatch
It's like
Nacho
a dumb
Libre.
movie. Like, while I was watching it, I thought, what are we watching? And then after we finished, I'm like quoting it all the time. So
Literally, she was going to watch it for 5 minutes to humor me and her sons, and then she gets sucked into it, and she's like, "I got to see how this ends." And as he's feeding the orphans in the wherever they live, he's able to buy better food for them. And April likes her vegetables, so I decide I'm going to serve up salads for her, dressed up in fancy ways, and do
little happy faces,
little flourishes as I serve them up.
You won't get that unless you've seen the movie.
You will get it once you watch the movie. It's great.
But I think
it is the best.
But I think bringing humor into it, I think, is important. And that's another reason why I want to bring Eric on the podcast more, because...
So that I can quote Nacho Libre for you.
Yeah, because someone in our call the other day said, Eric brings the funny.
And I think I just bring the ridiculous.
You are funny. Well, that's the thing where sometimes you said, April, if you have something super organized for the podcast, I don't want to just come on and be like the clown.
I'm a comic relief over here. I'm the clapping monkey on the side.
Because the thing is, Eric and I do work very differently. He doesn't love having like every flat surface clear and every list checked off, and his emails aren't at 0. That's not his thing. But he functions the way that works for him. He gets the things done that need to get done.
And
he's
a lot more flexible. Apparently, that April will stay around with me.
Yes,
so
we love each other. But I think it's also just healthy to be able to share how it's okay if you do things differently than me or Eric or whatever, or from your partner, that there's ways that you can figure out how to work together.
Yeah, and the last point I'd put on that is just as you're going through and working through things in your life, try to find the joyful, the fun, the humorous ways to manage through those things. Because we can manage through something slogging through it, being discouraged, depressed, anxious about it, or we can move through it and figure it out and solve it, move ahead, whatever we needed to do, making it kind of fun and having, some laughs about it. Just, I don't know, making it lighter than heavier. So.
And just, final thing, if you want something to think about while you fall asleep, like gratitude, thinking about all the things.
We'll give you lots of things to think about while you fall asleep, so you can't fall asleep.
I mean, now typically I just fall asleep pretty fast. Or sometimes I like to listen to a little bit of an audiobook or something like that. I usually get maybe 8 minutes in,
if that. A great course thing about the bubonic plates, like tectonic plate shifts and things like that. Like,
I do like that.
The world falls asleep to that stuff.
I do like that. But gratitude is good. Or gains. I've heard this from several sources. If you think about a few things that went really well that day, and then you also ask yourself why did it go well, and so it gives you like that empowerment where you can say, oh yeah, because there are things that I did today that helped things to go well, or just focusing on breathing and relaxing, and maybe there's other things that help you fall asleep
from the other part of the earlier list that April hopefully won't edit out. So all that good stuff. Or you can just hit yourself in the head with a rock and just go right out. So.
Stop. Anyway, we love you guys, and we hope that you're feeling excited about, creating a calm mind and being able to have really good rest and being able to enjoy the people in your life and the time you're spending with them and the work you're doing. And we just really want you to be able to be empowered to do the things that matter most to you, and grateful you're here with us.
That's right. So sweet dreams and happy days ahead. We love you.
All right. See you soon at Learn, Do, Become.